And we want to get back to our breaking news. Gunshots ring out at the White House Correspondents Dinner.
We're learning the suspected gunman is from Southern California. 31-year-old Cole Allen of Torrance is now in custody. You see him there on your screen. Joining us now is former Secret Service agent Michael Matranga. Michael, thank you so much for your time this evening. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Michael, the first thing I want to ask, and this is something we had here at the desk, and I'm sure a lot of people watching at home have this question as well, which is we've seen the video that President Trump shared earlier this evening of this suspect just barging through Secret Service. I mean, how does that happen fundamentally? Is that a failure on Secret Service? Is it a failure on the venue and its logistics? I mean, how does something like that happen and get so dangerously close to the President of the United States and other officials?
I'm going to try to give you the short version, but you know, essentially what this boils down to is that in the United States and globally, we have lost all of our social, you know, moral and ethical compass, and we've allowed both parties to continue to divide us as Americans and incite the average American to want to conduct this particular type of violence. And so the question is, how does this happen? I have a gun safe right here beside me. I'm a hunter from Texas. I'm also a professional shooter. If I were to take one of these weapons right now and barge into any local store, what's going to prevent that from happening? Or if I wanted to barge into the front door of a police department and shoot the person at the front desk, what's going to stop me? We have to tone down the political rhetoric in the United States and globally. We have to understand that what we're doing and the words that we say impact people and they incite people. But to answer the real question is, you know, there are layers of security that the United States Secret Service deploys. What happened here is on the exterior of the outer perimeter, you saw in the video, there were multiple agents and officers standing around basically an observational post watching ingress and egress routes. That individual, as he was coming in, I am certain what we're going to find is that he had intentions of breaching not only the outer perimeter, but the middle perimeter to get into the inner perimeter. And he realized that he had no chance because the Secret Service was doing their job at those observational posts, which is what led him to try to breach it at a high rate of speed by running. And if you see in the video, the officer in uniform down towards the left of the screen, he sees him running and he's the first to draw his pistol. And it looks like he takes shots. I don't know, but it looked like from what I saw, the agent that was standing near the table was probably the one that took a shot. I'm not sure, but based upon his reaction, that's what it looked like. But he continued to stay in the fight. And so he realized that in order to conduct that level of violence, he was going to have to move swiftly to get towards the magnetometer so he could breach that to get into the inner perimeter where the president and all of the protectees were. So I'm pretty much certain that that's what we're going to find happened.
Where do we go now? Because we know there is no confirmed motive, but at this point, they do have a suspect that authorities can interview. So what will investigators really be looking for?
Well, I think right now, probably as we're speaking, they've identified him. They're looking to see if there's any known accomplices, if this was a coordinated effort. It appears that it probably was. From early reports of what I've gathered so far, he was an occupant of the hotel, so it appears that there might have been some pre-planning, and he was in the execution phase of this plan. And so, you know, we've got to get better at identifying people that are in crisis. And what we're going to see, I know this individual's from Southern California, is what we're probably going to see is that he was politically motivated by something that happened within the administration, whether it be, you know, the war with Iran or immigration or some other polarizing, you know, topic that we're facing as Americans. My message to the American people would be, you know, we're not living in the world in which we lived 20 years ago. If you're a community member, if you're a corporate CEO, or if you're another country, we have to start being proactive on how we secure events, how we secure our homes, and to be situationally aware when we're out in public, because there are people walking amongst us that are mentally ill. Mental health resources throughout the United States have been cut for decades. We really need to start focusing on those proactive measures of how we prevent violence by, helping people that want to commit it. We have to tone down the rhetoric on both sides of the aisle, both Republicans and Democrats. We've got to stop pointing the fingers at each other because this individual probably at some point in his life wasn't, incited to a point where he wanted to commit violence at the White House Correspondents Dinner. I'm certain that what we're going to see with this individual is a pattern of progressive behavior that became erratic that led him to do this.
To Secret Service in this particular regard, when we heard earlier this evening that in situations like this, you obviously train for it, but then there's sort of a reassessment period after the fact where you look back and see what went right, what went wrong, and how you can learn from that and move it forward. What is this particular situation going to look like? Because this type of thing doesn't necessarily happen every day. So what is Secret Service going to look at in terms of learning from this, and then hopefully, if it doesn't happen again, moving forward?
Yeah, I think that, obviously, we call that an after action or when I was on the counter assault team, we would call it a hot wash. But it's going to be fundamentally broken down from where he entered, why he was there. They'll probably even break it down to what he ate over the last 72 hours. And then they'll get down to where the agency or the law enforcement at those posts of duty, what they could have done better. Could they have been more situationally aware? Could their body positioning have been different? Could they have structured the site in what we call a CPTED, and that's crime prevention through environmental design? Could they have structured the site in a way that would have prevented someone from having that fast egress into the lobby area to breach that first perimeter level and then to the secondary? I can tell you that every aspect of this will be broken down. It will be shared for decades on with every Secret Service special agent and uniform division class that comes through the academy at the James J. Raleigh Training Center, and it will become a training video.
Yeah, it's just incredible to see the action of the Secret Service agents and officers there at the scene and how quickly they moved when you just examine how quickly that suspect was trying to move through that security checkpoint. Michael Matranga, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for your insight.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.